So Bo was talking about you're talking about John Law wisdom, right? But I'm sure like anyone can make mistakes, right? Take the recent example. So many known fund has invested in FTX or had made loss. So how do you look at this? Like avoid mistakes or using that wisdom to pick something that has potential, but also how do you, when you face that moment, if you made a loss, and how do you balance this relationship, like to maximize your wisdom and not to be taken over by mistakes, or I don't know, yeah.
Well, I mean, our business is one of the most forgiving business, which that we can make mistakes. Like over at lunch the other day, we were talking about, like as venture capitalists, you're allowed to make 5 mistakes, and as long as you get one right, right, right. You know, like now the hedge fund, they are not allowed to make a lot of mistakes because the pricings always, fluctuate, right? So, like after FTX thing, I called our partner Hasib, basically saying, Hasib, sometimes that I always thought that we have too much chips on our shoulders, right? And then I realized that now, it's great to have chips. It's great to have a good shoulder. Like thinking among yourself as a partner, as individuals, and then stick with the sort of the aesthetics and philosophies that you believe in is the only saving grace, because every day you challenge their ideas, and like what Chinese are saying, that 这个物以类聚，人以群分. It's like good people, and they actually just kind of merge together, walk the same way, right? So it's more of a philosophical choices. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely made mistakes. The idea is not to make kind of embarrassing mistakes, or it is very forgiving, as Bo said. I think we're known for being a little bit more kind of critical than other VCs. I think some VCs have a policy around not speaking poorly of projects in public, or I think our IC, our investment committee process, is also somewhat intense in that we ask a lot of hard questions and we expect a lot of deep diligence, and I think the team skews very technical, and so we often sort of get really deep into the weeds on data and technical diligence on different projects. And sometimes in a bull market, that causes you to miss things or to feel stupid for having missed something, but the flip side is that it sort of has this immune response to avoiding some of the kind of deadlier mistakes that you can make as a VC. So yeah, I think it's this balance of being willing to take risks, but the right kinds of risks.
Would you be afraid of you miss something? Like even you have great instincts, right? Like of course, Bo is very sophisticated, and you guys are very young. Of course, that can be a element to judge. But like, would you be I don't know, beat yourself down when you miss something, or you're afraid? What is your fear, or how do you learn from your experience?
We definitely review things that we've missed and try to find out why we missed them, and what was our thought process, what was our diligence process, and are there things to improve? And sometimes, we said there isn't anything to improve, and actually everything worked fine. You're going to miss something.
Last time when we were in New York, we had a session that we talked about why we missed SAM economy, and then the conclusion is that there's nothing to improve. We missed it, and because that just didn't make sense every time. And then now I can sit here saying, hey, look, but I don't want to be that way. But it never made sense to us.
Just to add on to that, right?
Sure.
So I think in investing, it is extremely important to separate the results from the process, right? And sometimes in extreme markets where you have bull market that doesn't seem like prices will ever drop, or bear market that you think this industry is over, you forget because the results in crypto are so extreme that people anchor to those results. But what's actually important is to have the right process and to see if you make a mistake, is it a problem with your process or a problem, or you did everything right, but you just can't get, you can't have every good result, right? And I think while you pointed out we may be young, at least Tom and I, but in crypto, there are not many investors that have survived more than one cycle. Many of the hedge funds, many of the VCs are one cycle funds. And I think what differentiates us is like most of the partners have been here for at least two winters, right? So this is not, like
This is not the coolest one yet.
This is not the coolest one yet, but it gives you more time to calibrate, right? That you saw the highs and you've seen the lows, and that you're just less prone to having the reason outcome really weigh down on kind of what your baseline should be, right? So I think just surviving more cycles and survival is extremely important in crypto. Just affords you the experience to look past one or two things that's happening right now.
Yeah. Also, I think as an industry, we would realize that we cover a wide industries, right? So opportunity is like food. Is only that you are able to digest and take in yourself, right? So we have our own intellectual structure and capacity, and then we have we are very clear about our aesthetics and choices of people, and we can only choose and then valuations and other parameters, right? We can only choose to do this business, and if this business can catch great winners, so be it. And then others are not our business. They are all about our reach, right? And then if you think about always reaching left or right, and your life will be very miserable in crypto, because there's just things happens for many reasons, and all very dramatic, right? So we are running a business, and we have a very clear sort of net that woven by our intellectual practice, and so be it if we catch.
Yeah, I think the worst mistakes are when you try to heat seek, and that's where I think we see everyone get tripped up because they don't actually understand what's going on, but they feel an obligation to kind of get caught up, and I think that's when it's like, how do you even diligence if you don't understand kind of like the field and the game that you're playing? I think it's where you see most of the mistakes.
There's two very famous acronyms in crypto. One is called fear of missing out, and another one called aping.
What's that?
I don't know if it's an acronym, but
It's like-
people glorify. In crypto, people tend to glorify reckless risk taking. They think it's a badge of honor, when reality is not a wise
The white knights,
financial
slayed like
decision.
dragons, yeah.